near the pro level and even struggles in the amateur female league, these mixed messages and inconsistencies only serve to further ruin this character who had great potential for an incredible story. Despite these two fumbled storylines, Persona 5 still features some incredible characters. The flaws in some of the stories only become more apparent when compared to the greatest confidant in the game, putting all others to shame. The next character we'll be discussing features an incredible self-contained story, leaves no massive unanswered questions, and features no Momentos bullshit,
Yoshida
with all the problems
really
being
good.
solved through discourse and
I really
disagreement
like him.
rather than magic. At first glance, Yoshida looks like
really
an
like him.
unamusing, boring politician, but he's hiding one of the best stories in the game. I'll admit my first playthrough.
So what's the problem here?
I don't know. I think he's going, those two bad, this good. Why couldn't they all be like this?
Okay, but then he's got the rest of them going through. Unless he's just talking about them, because I saw, Ryuji and stuff, so I don't know if that's so much confidently as much as the character Ryuji himself. So maybe.
Well, no, this is still in the confidant section.
Is it?
S-Link's intro, going here, main story intro.
Oh,
There's
I guess
nothing
so.
else.
Oh wait,
here.
no, yeah, I guess so. So what's the point?
I don't know.
Dude, this was
This
way
is
too
very
much.
poorly structured.
I completely ignored him because I thought, man, this is just going to be another boring politician, man. But I'm glad to say that I was incredibly wrong. When you start his S-Link, it's obvious right away that he's on a completely different level. Rank 1, he tells you about his 3 major political mistakes he made in his youth when he was inexperienced and how he wants to make up for them. Rank 2, he teaches you about always having a good ideology and a strong conviction. Rank 3, you see a politician say that dishonesty is required in securing votes, but Yoshida disagrees vehemently since that was the mindset that made him a bad politician. Rank 4, while getting heckled about his past during a speech, you stand up for him and help him regain his confidence mid-speech. He owns up to all of his mistakes in the past and
Owning up to mistakes. Wow, that's really something, isn't it? Current internet culture.
Tugs at the collar.
conviction to stand up against all evil. Rank 5, he tells you about how he originally was only a politician for fame and money, and not in the belief in wanting to enact change, and warns you not to go down the same path that he did. While every confidant in the game has Joker, a high school student, solving problems that are way out of his league through magic, Yoshida makes it extremely clear that he is far more experienced than you, and for once Joker is learning from an adult's wisdom as opposed to juggling all their life's problems for them. In all of your different meetings with him, you
Sounds like that was a problem in the other Persona games.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
see him have an unwavering conviction in his beliefs that honesty is the best policy. Backroom deals and compromises have no place in politics, and atone for the mistakes he made in his youth.
great.
His story only gets better from here on out, with the next several meetings of him showing just how strong his beliefs are. In his 6th rank, you meet
He's just
with
this
Diet Man
unwavering
Matsushita, who asks him to
lame-o.
drop out.
Dude, lame characters are the greatest
he's
thing
just
in
like,
the world.
I have my convictions, darn it, and I'm not gonna waver. Maybe you could take a little bribe with it. No!
His right-hand man in exchange for having his name cleared of the accusations made against him in his youth. But Yoshida reaffirms his goals to become a Diet member himself. The 7th rank involves him meeting with a different party with a similar offer for him. But once again, he rejects the offer because their beliefs vary from his, and he wants to be elected based off what he believes is right. The next time you meet with Yoshida, you talk with Matsushita again, and he reveals that it was his political mentor who framed Yoshida for embezzling and extends his offer again. But even in the face of this revelation, having an offer that would be immensely helpful for him, Yoshida still refuses to budge on the fact that he wants to atone for his past and do things right this time, and declines. Going by the pattern we've seen so far, this is where the Momentos introduction would have been shoehorned in. It probably would have had you go to Momentos to change Yoshida's mentor Koromoto's heart to have him confess for framing him, or maybe Yoshida would have accepted one of the offers and then he would have realized how awful these party members are. Then you would have had to go change their hearts and Mentos, have them confess to their wrongdoings, which would then push Yoshida into the leader of the group and become a new Diet man. But instead of doing this, Yoshida actually accepts that even if he was framed, he was still a bad politician who messed up several other times, being framed or not. He still has to make it up to the people of Japan for what he has done in the past. The game trusts him to be mature enough to handle his own issues for himself. And for once, the character growth comes from within, instead of having you fix all their problems.
So you have two characters that do the thing you said to do, and then one character that doesn't? And now all social link bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
no input. Matsushita helps him set up a big speech to clear his name for the rank 9, but instead, Yoshida uses this platform to talk about his views on the Phantom Thieves and how they're doing good for the world and fighting to change what they view as injustice instead of revealing the false charges. Matsushita is so moved by this that he ensures that his party backs Yoshida in the elections anyway. Following this is a great scene where Yoshida says a belief with conviction can move a heart and talks about how his own...
What was the point?
He's not what he did he just record the? Yeah, I understand what you a joke, I guess, whatever. But did he just record this just to play it? Because wait a second, this is very odd because he said the first time
this is the second playthrough. Yeah. He said he replayed it to record this video.
Yeah, but he said the first time that he played it, he didn't pay attention to Yoshida. He didn't even do them. But this time he did. But he's skipping through it.
What do you mean?
Go back, because that was like 1 second of talking.
Where Yoshida says a belief with conviction can move a heart and talks about how his own heart has been moved by you standing by his side,
like
even through his mistakes and bad reputation. This is a side of the Phantom Thieves we haven't seen before. It's a great way to show the effect they have on the world that isn't necessarily through direct heart-changing actions, but also through how they inspire others to stand up to injustices. It's a shame that a scenario like this never comes up for the rest of the game. For your final meeting with him, he talks about how a magazine published news about the embezzlement and his reputation really turned around. And he thanks you for your work as a Phantom Thief and with helping to reassure his confidence in speaking. The last time you see him is in a speech where he talks about how everyone should strive to change the world for the better in whatever way they can, and that he will support anyone who does. This story may not be the most memorable or filled with hype moments like the others, but it's the ultimate showcase of the power of the Phantom Thieves, and shows someone working through trying to redeem themselves using their own strength, rather than being forced to because their heart was stolen. He has no annoying quests, doesn't leave any threads hanging after his story is done, doesn't take the easy way out, and he does it all with sheer willpower. He's not a character in a terrible situation.
It's almost like he's a 40-year-old politician as opposed to a 16-year-old girl.
It's almost like he can fix his own issues. It's almost like there's not a direct pointing to somebody and you are the cause of my issues. He caused his own issues, so he has to change it himself. No, that makes 100% sense. And you're just sitting there watching him.
That the player is forced to fix. He's not stuck forever in limbo unless you hang out with him. You offer him support in your interactions, but he makes every major decision for himself regardless of your input. You don't get rid of any immediate threats, you just help him through the public's gaze by showing him that there are people who care about his message. It doesn't even matter that he gets elected or not, since he is consistently shown to have beliefs that he will not compromise on. And there should be no doubt in anyone's mind that even if he doesn't get elected now, he'll just campaign the next election cycle, because he genuinely believes that he can make a better country and a better world, without having to focus on a deep dark story, some lame twist, or showing off cartoonish.
Don't forget they worked their stepson to the point it wasn't even their son. You know that what? Wait, huh? That doesn't even. I don't care. Don't forget they worked their. Don't forget they worked their stepson to the point he collapsed on his bike and got hit by a car because they were petty assholes who hated his biological parents, their relatives. How's it both their? Because they were successful while they were poor, which was their fault for rampant spending. Yes, it's almost like they were douchebags and treated the kid like douchebag, and there was no way to change these people if you're a maid teacher. Again, Hifumi is something different. She should have done that herself. This cannot be changed. These people have been like this for some 40, 50 years. What do you want?
Actually shitty adults. Yoshida's story delivers on a solid redemption arc that stands out when compared to the rest of the game's stories. The only possible weakness I could think of for this S-Link is if you're not well versed with Japanese politics and its political parties, some of the jargon is just going to go right over your head. Like, I have no idea what the Liberal Co-Prosperity Party is and what it means.
So? I don't need to know what a Republican or a Democrat stands for if I'm outside this country to go, I don't want to be part of the Democrat Party because I want to stand by my own beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Landscape when Kuramoto's grandson says they're going to secede from it. There are several other great S-Links in the game, but now that we have the perspective of seeing some of the best the game has to offer, let's look at the rest of the confidants that are dragged down by momentos, starting with Sojiro.
Boy. You could have just yada yada.
You really could have. It could have just been Sojiro, his uncle who beats Futaba, came back. It could have been minutes. I was wondering how this was going to be 5 hours.
Dude,
man,
this needs to be cut down tremendously.
Big cut.
Constant parental figure in your journey throughout the school year, who comes off as cold and distant at first, but slowly grows to accept you. Like the others, it's a slow start, and all you learn in his first 3 ranks is that he's involved with some shady character from his past, who wants something from him. In his rank 4, the shady man comes to the store asking for money, and Sojiro explains that's just someone from his past, and to not be fooled by his cheerful act. After 4 months, his story is finally allowed to move forward, once you have
Yeah, because you need Futaba in order to continue Futaba's father's story that directly involves Futaba. I wonder why. And it's...
Just wants...
What a petty point.
He wants you to meet these people and them to instantly tell you their problems the second time you talk to them so y'all can start working towards fixing them.
A problem that they can solve internally.
That's not how people work, and that's not how relationships work.
This is ridiculous.
You're going to get very surface level stuff until people start trusting you.
And he's going to do 15 motherfuckers all just bam, bam, bam.
Dude, this is horrible.
Futaba as a party member. He tells you all about Wakaba and how they used to work together and bond over his curry, which she made the recipe for.
Why are you playing Metal Gear Solid music right now?
Together and bond over his curry, which she made the recipe for. After this, things finally start to ramp up.
No, she improved the recipe for her. He made it and she went, oh, I can use my science to make this scientifically better, and she did.
The guy comes back to the store with the knowledge about Futaba being locked away from society and Joker having a criminal record. It's revealed that he's Futaba's uncle, and he used to be her guardian, but she hated living with him, so Sojiro paid to let him take her in. The uncle threatens to sue him and then leaves. Sojiro then tells you that when he had custody over Futaba, he kept her locked up, didn't feed her, didn't give her a bed, or let her even shower. Immediately after saying this, Sojiro then wonders maybe if it would be best if Futaba went back to her uncle. You know, the uncle he just explained almost killed her due to neglect and feels absolutely no remorse for having done it. This encounter brings a lot of things about the characters involved into question. How is anyone taking his legal threat seriously? And even if they do,
how is anybody taking their legal threat seriously? Did the justice system of Japan take Futaba away from him? Or did Sojiro pay him to take Futaba in? Because if the latter is the case, then the justice system, in their eyes, as far as they know, Futaba is still legally guardianed by her uncle. Mm-hmm. And so if he goes, I'm taking you to court, Sojiro can go, okay, well, I guess I'll just see you in court. Hey, he beat her and he didn't feed her and he didn't let her shower. Okay, where's the proof of this? Oh, well, here's Futaba saying it. Futaba says the same stuff. Well, the uncle could go, he coerced her into saying that.
Hey, what have you been doing with your life? Oh, she's a shut-in now? Provably? She's not enrolled in school or anything? It looks like he's worse for her.
The justice system is broken. And he is still the legal guardian, technically. So that's why you would take that threat seriously. Because it is an actual legitimate threat.
All Sojiro would have to do in court is him and Futaba say, well, at least...
That's not how court works, bruh. You think just testimony from 2 people is enough to go, oh, well, they're telling the truth?
Especially when this is literally just some dude, as opposed to family members.
Which is also, Futaba's not enrolled in school, she's not going anywhere, she's not doing anything. So you could just go, okay, so what's he doing for her? Oh, he also has a convicted criminal under his house. Oh, I am also still the legal guardian. He kidnapped her. Oh,
a lot can happen there.
Dude.
The
justice system, the court system is not as black and white as you would hope it to be. There's so many grays there. Because a lot of people are convicted or released on mostly circumstantial evidence. You're not. There are so few cases where you're going to get hard evidence of something to go, there's no doubt it's that and it's done and stamped.
And then they could just turn to Futaba going, why aren't you in school? And she has to explain herself. Why are you not allowing her to go to school? It can be turned right back on you.
And again, who are you?
Who are you? You're just some dude.
In court is him and Futaba say, well, at least she has food and a bed here. Why did nobody involved in this report him to the police after they...
A lot of time, child abuse is not reported to the police.
Who knew? If they had a house and just off in the countryside and nobody came around, we don't know any other relatives that Futaba may have. It looks like this is the only relative available. So as long as he didn't have any friends or anything that comes over, or if she just gets locked up in a room upstairs, nobody knows. So the only person that would know or care would be Sojiro.
Hey, you know what's really interesting? We had almost this exact situation happen in our family. And guess what? That kid is still with her piece of grandma. Whoops.
Found out how the uncle was treating Futaba. Actually, why did Sojiro even pay him any money at all when he was doing things that are very obviously illegal? The biggest question...
Okay. I'm going to call the cops on you because she doesn't have a bed. He pulls her out, takes her in his room, puts her on a bed, and go, look, she's in a bed.
No, that's not even where I'm going.
She's stinking because she don't want to take a shower. That's her own thing. I can't force her.
Here's where I'm going. Let's say that happens, and then Futaba gets taken away, and now she's just in the system. Maybe he doesn't want that. Maybe he wants her to go to a place where he knows she will be taken care of.
This dude is a piece of crap.
He cares only about the money.
Toss him a couple thousand. The kid is out of your hair. You clearly don't care about her since you're not feeding her anything. What are you getting by having her there?
I'll take her. I'll pay you. And
She's out of your hair.
And we'll watch the whole situation. Because, again, the system sucks. Orphanages suck. And she could go to a way worse situation if she gets adopted by some piece of people. The 2 confidants ago where the stepson is getting overworked.
Of all, how does Sojiro even entertain the thought of sending Futaba back to him when he literally just described the inhumane...
That's weird.
Because he doesn't think he's good enough. That's the only thing I can say. Now, he knows the other dude isn't good enough, but he thinks he's also failing her.
Ways in which she was treated. This makes Sojiro come off as a massive moron.
No, because he's also going, maybe the family is, if it's 2 bad situations, maybe family is what's going to help her.
Yeah.
Now, yes, he's still completely wrong in this situation. But you can't just brush it off. Dude, people work very weirdly sometimes. Their mind works very weirdly. It's just like saying when you have beautiful people struggling with self-confidence, and it's just like, you're beautiful, what are you worried about? You shouldn't be thinking you're not attractive or whatever, but they can still feel unattractive. It's got nothing to do with it's this and that's just the way it is.
Cut, everybody should act like this.
Dude,
no,
that's
he's got a shut-in surrogate daughter, a criminal in his house, a failing business. He's got a lot on his mind.
Could have easily just been...
I wonder what'd be best for Futaba.
It's not, he's definitely going, get her out of here. He's questioning himself. He's questioning everything around him. I'm sorry if you guys can hear me eating chips on...
You definitely can. They're no longer sold in America. Just taking your mouth away from one bite. Don't stop all the subsequent bites. You took away the but the rest is still...
Oh, delicious.
Dark side feel.
Those chips are so good.
Hey, let me see. I haven't had those chips in forever.
Perfect flavor in each bite. Flavor spelled with a U, of course. These boys are so good.
Oh wow, those are pretty good.
Those are really good.
I haven't had them in forever. Because, they're no longer sold in America.
Freaking $13 can of Pringles.
Oh, and that box was horrific.
Man, they people elbowed that mug. What are they doing? It's fragile.
Him wondering if it would be best to send her off to somebody who could take better care of her needs, instead of going, you know what they say.
Maybe there's someone out there somewhere.
I wonder. He's questioning himself. It's not a definite.
Blood is thicker than water. You might be thinking, well, maybe they're talking about another relative, but the game never mentions any other relative.
This is the only time anyone other than her uncle is mentioned. This might be a poor interpretation of the text on my part, but I think the script could have been better if that's what they were going for. So, yeah, they say that
nobody wanted her.
Nobody wanted her. Either nobody wanted her, nobody could deal with her, or they treated her like
relatives, so we have to assume that he's talking about sending her back with the uncle. The 7th rank is finally a heartwarming one, where Futaba comes up to Sojiro with information about her uncle's debt that she's hacked her way to, but Sojiro tells her off that the hacking is wrong and illegal, causing her to run away crying about how Sojiro doesn't care about her. He tells you that he's been staying distant from her and understands her pain, so you go with him to talk to her. They make up, and they promise to stay together forever, bringing everyone to a happy ending. He even says that he'll protect you both and that he was sorry for telling you to keep your head down and to not fight back against society, since he experienced the horrors firsthand with Wakaba's death. At this point, Sojiro's narrative arc has basically ended. He's grown from someone who was cold.
Yes,
look at that hat.
That hat is fire.
He has such a better one in Royal as well.
Okay, yes. Him as a person has grown, but how does he stop the person that is her legal guardian from taking her away? That's not you're not giving the answer. You don't have the answer, Sway.
What's that reference?
I think someone named Kanye West.
He sucks. Get him out of here.
Oh no, he's back to being positive.
Distant and mysterious into a character who has finally overcome his hesitation to getting close to others because of his awful experiences he's had in the past, and who understands that sometimes going against society is necessary. The story should have ended honestly right at this point, but in classic Persona 5 fashion, we haven't gotten the required rank 8 mementos shoehorn. Rank 8 is a short one. As you are hanging out in the store, the uncle comes back asking for more money, but Sojiro refuses, saying he's not afraid to go to court. He then tries to attack Futaba, falls over, and says he's going to sue you, and leaves. Sojiro reinforces the promise he
Oh, the head is flames!
you previously, saying that no matter what ends up happening to me or this store, I won't let them lay a finger on you too. I'm your guardian after all, and I have a duty to protect both of you. However, instead of trusting Sojiro to protect you like he just said, you later get a message from Futaba saying that she found her uncle's name in mementos and that you need to go change his heart.
Futaba is somebody that has been bounced around forever, so if the court system says, hey, you can't preside over these two kids, she doesn't want to take the chance of that.
Yeah.
Since when you can look up names for targets and mementos, they never mention it and ever do it again outside of this. She is a master hacker and looks through palette,
And also, Sojiro goes, I'll take care of it. I won't let anything happen to you guys, no matter what. What if he goes over to fight him and he gets arrested and you guys get taken away anyway? Maybe avoid that. We're going to go through each and every one of them and just complain that it gets solved with mementos.
Is by far the worst reason given to go to mementos so far, and runs counter to all the other information the game has given you.
What information?
Adult who constantly has your back and is extremely
and he has your back again, so this time you're gonna have his instead of this lengthy court battle that's gonna take up a lot of money.
Court battle
that's gonna take up a lot of time and money that could still result in you two being taken away or him just punching him.
Thrilling action in a Persona game. Court battle.
Clear about sparing no resources in keeping both Joker and Futaba safe is,
you know what? But if he does that, he's gonna bleed all through his resources.
So let's just avoid that. Let's press a button and make things better. I don't see a problem with that. Could it be done better? Absolutely. But if it was me in any of these situations and a button could be pressed to make it better, yes, of course.
Not Hifumi.
Not a Fumi. No, that's the whole thing of you. That also teaches you confidence and everything like that. No, that's something. Most of them. Let's go. Most of them.
Most of them, I would absolutely hit that button. Them terrible step parents, button time.
Yeah. Even if Fumi, it's just like, look, I tried talking to her for 3 days. This ain't working.
Yeah. If she would have just threw something like that out, I've tried over the years over and over and over again to talk to her, and it's just not happening.
A button should be last resort.
Mm-hmm. What's the resort past this? A lengthy court battle that bleeds thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds.
Or Sojiro just attacking them.
Safe if something were to happen. The uncle's legal threats don't even carry any weight anymore.
Yes, they do. He's their legal guardian, or her legal guardian. And if a court looks at a document and goes, "You're the legal guardian," they're gonna go, "Why does he have her?" Oh, he took her from me.
Done.
I found her. I found my Futaba. Did you ever see the movie Liar, Liar, Sir? Where it's like, oh, yeah, technically you're correct. But that woman a piece of to her kids and only wanted the money, but she was technically correct. The court only cares about technically correct. There's no emotion there. It's not meant to be emotional.
Who has 51% of proof and reason in this moment?
Technically, you're the guardian, so your words hold more weight.
Considering that on top of the way he treated Futaba, it has been brought up multiple times that he's a frivolous spender and has failed multiple business ventures and is massively in debt, meaning that the odds would be stacked massively in your favor in court. The game simply...
No, because your business is failing and you also have another criminal under it. And then if you bleed all your resources, you're going to go, well, here's just 2 people in debt. We're going to go with the legal guardian and the one that at least has a house-ish, because you done now. Your house is you know what?
Information to have you go to Momentos anyway. The worst part about this whole situation is what comes after you change his heart, because in the rank 9 meeting involves you, Sojiro, and Futaba having to answer to some government workers who came to check on you because of a report of you being violent to a customer.
Because, dude, do you know somebody called the social workers on our mother just because they had a disagreement with her and didn't like her? And the social worker looked around for 40 seconds and said, all right, this ain't it.
There ain't nothing going on here.
He walked through the house. He walked upstairs. He walked downstairs. And he asked us like 5 questions. And then he went, yeah, okay, this ain't it. And he left. All it takes is him forcing Futaba to shower and going
sliding the futon in the room and going, yeah, she just sleeps in there. She spends most of her time either in my room or downstairs with the TV.
Well, okay, this ain't it. Also, the only person that could have called it is Sojiro, because I'm sure the other relatives did not care. And again, Sojiro does not want her in the system.
So going to Mementos was actually completely worthless and changed nothing. You all relay your side of the story to them, they believe you, and then even say,
he's not coming back. That's what it changed. I will sue you for custody. Okay, well, I guess he's never going to do that anymore because his heart was changed. We don't have to worry about that next year, next month. Maybe it also changed his business venture things where he's a gambler or whatever with his issues.
A full follow-up won't even be necessary because they can tell, in quotes, the children are the real victims here. Futaba even calls Sojiro dad in this exchange, which while nice and heartwarming could have easily just been a part of the reconciliation.
I mean, okay, the same thing happens whether you went to Momentos or not. Except now, in the future, that guy's not coming back. So this all still happens absence of Momentos. It's just that in the future, you're not going to have to worry about it.
This is very, very odd.
the attic in the previous rank 7, and the situation is resolved with no issues, exactly as Sojiro said things would have happened before you went to Momentos.
Yeah, and it happened the same as after Momentos. But now that guy doesn't come back because this right here is not suing for custody. It's calling the people on them. That's different from going, I'm taking you to court for custody of this girl.
Momentos. Rank 10 brings a great conclusion to this whole story as you go to visit the church to pay respects to Wakaba now that Sojiro can meet her with no reservations or regrets about Futaba's situation, and then thanks you for teaching him about family, saying that you are now a part of his family too, and he'll do his best not only for Futaba but for you as well. Overall, the story told in Sojiro's Confidant is a good one, but it's held back by both the padding in the early ranks and the random Mementos visit.
It's not padding. He doesn't like you nor trust you.
You're a legit just criminal in his eyes.
You're just some dude, and he's like, get your butt up and start working. That's the least you can do.
Early ranks and the random Mementos visit that has no impact on how the story plays out.
It has no impact on how the story plays out, but it also prevents further problems in the future.
And he had a problem with Hifumi's going, oh, we have no information about the future. But this prevents stuff happening in the future, and it's a problem.
It was done to waste the player's time. And the
why is everything just a waste of time? What if the player just enjoys doing that stuff? Is their time wasted for having gone there and done those things?
Time that you enjoy spending is not time wasted.
weirdness around having 4 months of forced downtime between ranks, a feature that isn't present in any other confidant.
Because you need Futaba.
You need Futaba, and it's also totally in Kawakami. But again, who cares? You can do anything else in those 4 months.
Feature that isn't present in any other confidant. Although a lot of the information about Sojiro comes from the main story, this side story feels like an important and meaningful part of his development. The only
yes, that's every character that gets a social link. Their development is in the side arcs, and it's like you get to learn more about them. It sounds like this also happened in Persona 3 and 4, but it wasn't a problem there for some reason.
There just wasn't a problem. Dojima, same thing. Nanako, same thing.
I wonder what changed.
He's not invested. It's just like the Team 4-star thing. He's not invested, so he's just going, why? What? Huh?
At the end of his story is that his rank 10 ability of making curry that greatly heals SP is completely worthless by the time you get it.
Absolutely.
Since the SP adhesives,
yeah, that's terrible. Who needs that shit?
For months and should honestly be obtained way before you'll have the ability to even complete his confidant. Tay is the sadistic doctor who runs the clinic you use to buy heal.
You are really going through
100%
every single character.
It's
and you ridiculous. In your mind is going, this cannot be cut down in the slightest. There's a reason it's 5 hours. I simply cannot cut it down anymore.
Items and the extremely important SP adhesives. In the first 4 ranks of her confidant, you learn that she's making some sort of new special medicine, that Oyamada, a former superior of hers at a large hospital, has some sort of grudge with her, and that she was blacklisted from the medical community. You later learn that she was trying to develop a cure for a disease that has been untreatable so far, but Oyamada rushed the development and used it on a patient, causing her to go into critical condition, but blamed Tay and got her exiled from the medical community. Her clinic is also gaining popularity with the locals, but she seems apprehensive because her only goal is to complete the medicine. Oyamada then comes to the clinic to harass Tay, telling her to shut down her clinic, turn in her medical license, and the patient with the incurable disease, Miwa, has died. This causes Tay to have a breakdown and you comfort her. In the rank 8 meeting, Tay tells you that she confirmed that Miwa is dead with the hospital that she was staying at and talks to you about how she became a doctor because she was always sick as a child and wants to help others like the doctors did for her. She asks to stop doing the clinical trials with you, and you ask what Oyamada's full name is so you can go to beat him up in Momentos, because that's what always happens during the rank 8. Once you change his heart,
looking them up with your name?
Oh, yeah.
Asking for their name and looking them up? What? I thought you said that didn't happen.
And also, it doesn't always happen in rank 8 because it didn't happen with the politician.
Oh, whoops. That's the problem with
like
absolutes.
Also Tae, since she was far more brilliant than him, and that Miwa wasn't actually dead, just transferred to a different hospital since they couldn't treat her, and he thought that saying that she was dead would be better for his reputation. Which is the most asinine explanation I've ever heard.
No, it's not, because his explanation was she can't be treated and this radical drug would be a failure. And then they're doing their best to treat her, and he's absolutely right. There was no way to treat her. So then the community goes, oh, okay, that doctor was right about this disease. The other one was wrong. So it further bolsters his reputation.
And he also says she's dead, so stop working on this medicine. And then if she does finish the medicine, her reputation gets up higher and his gets lower because he didn't figure out the medicine.
The doctor in charge of the hospital who seriously thinks that saying a patient died under their care is better than saying she was transferred to a different facility because they were unable to treat her incurable.
Yeah.
The patient chose to leave the hospice and then died. That's not him saying she died in my care. They chose to leave and then they died.
Wow.
That's not even the words you just do. The words are on the screen.
Disease. This unnamed disease that Miwa is suffering from has no existing cure, so wouldn't it be completely acceptable to say that you couldn't do it and let another institution give it a go?
Hey, they left and died. Under my care, they were living.
I got nothing to do. They were alive under me, but also he's jealous of her. Why would he go, I couldn't do it, you do it? That's ridiculous. He's just gonna be like, well, it's everybody failed. I'm not even gonna give you a chance to succeed.
Only that, but this is the ultimate cop-out. The game introduces a complication to the story by having Tae's entire motivation taken away from her due to the death of her patient. But instead of having her work through this, the answer to her problem ends up being, it was just a prank, don't worry about it. And she's actually alive doing just fine the entire time.
Some people cannot work through those mental blocks. So what happens if she just loses all her confidence and shuts down her practice? Because people sometimes are not going to come back.
Oh, this is...
You act like all people operate the same. Yes. Like some people, if her confidence is gone, if her whole mission of keeping this medicine thing going was to help this one girl and then she failed at that, she could just shut down.
Isn't an interesting way to tell a story. It's yet another pointless plot twist in the middle of a confidant that is explained away with the barest justification just as fast as they introduced it.
He was jealous, so he lied. She's dead because of this incurable terminal disease. Makes sense. This doctor is clearly walking up to her going, stop it. He's jealous, so he lies just to make her stop being a doctor. Makes sense.
Finding out about Miwa's status, finally making a successful cure, and getting a position as head of R&D at the hospital she originally worked at. Like everyone else, she thanks you for helping her and says she knows you're a phantom thief, and everyone lives happily ever after. Once again, Persona 5 presents a potentially good story, marred with momentos and bad pacing. Her S-Ling starts out way too slow with her...
Oh my...
Everybody's just the slowest. You're a patient doing a clinical trial. You think she's going to go, yeah, I'm developing this for this girl that's dying.
Dude. This is ridiculous.
Just try to get somebody to open up to you tomorrow. Just somebody you don't know. Hey, what's all the problems you're having in the world right now?
First 4 ranks only providing tidbits of information that is...
Yes! Dude, you act like, are you going to go on a first date and go, hey, is somebody you love dying right now?
Tell me everything that we need to know so that the next 10 times that we meet, we can work through it.
Or is it going to go, hey, what's your hobbies?
Hey, how about I do this thing that I am being paid to do?
completely clear in the rank 5, and then having all of the agency taken away from Tay, where they could have easily had the story play out, she finds the cure.
They could have had that. Why would she keep looking for the cure if the person she was trying to cure is dead? They could have had that, or they could have had her shut down. Because people shut down.
This is ridiculous.
Cures Miwa, and then clears her name. And
Clear does that for me. Why? For what? She's dead. What's the story there?
Where? What?
reveals Oyamata for who and what he really is. Instead, it has the player solve all of Tei's problems for her and doesn't...
No, it
reveals
didn't.
reveals Oyamata for who he and what he is. Who is he and what is he? He's a liar, but if he didn't lie, he's not a liar. He's just not a very good doctor. No, not even as good of a doctor as you. So what is he if he did not lie?
Hey, we solved all of Tei's problems, so we finished the drug and delivered it to the kid, huh? Or did we tell her that the kid was alive and she went, okay, I need to finish this medicine?
The image of her being a badass doctor, Justice. Oya is the plucky alcoholic.
Why are you using Phoenix Wright music?
How'd you recognize that in 2 beats?
Did it? Track 13!
Reporter that works together with you to change the public's perception
both
of the
times.
Yeah, the reporter was when I was really just like, start moving.
I've got no interest in this. So this is going to be all news to me.
by writing BuzzFeed-esque personality quizzes.
Out of your friends, which are you? Truck freak crazy ass. The fighter.
Oya has one of the more interesting stories in the game, and nearly every rank of her confidant is filled with meaningful information. After your first meeting with her, where you introduce yourself and make a deal about information exchange, you find out that she used to be a politics writer for the newspaper. But
yes, information exchange. I'm giving you a little information, you give me a little information. Like, hey, what's your name? Oh, I'm such and such. And I used to be an investigative reporter for the... But then,
I was fired because of...
You just want somebody to hand over a card of their first 4 social links, and then it'll be like, all right, we're on 5, let's go.
He wants 1 to encompass 1 through 4.
And then 2 through 10 to be working through that one encompassing.
something happened, and that caused her to be moved to the entertainment section. She tells you about how she dislikes being an entertainment writer, since the topic of getting the attention is far more important than reporting about the truth.
Absolutely.
But she reluctantly remains at this position in order to protect her old partner, who is falsely accused of something. In your 4th meeting together, her boss finds her and accuses her of snooping around where she shouldn't be, since her focus should be on writing about the Phantom Thieves. She tricks him by saying the reason she's been sneaking around is to date you, and when you contribute to the lie and confirm what she is saying, her boss immediately backs off, despite Oya herself pointing out this is illegal, and the boss is looking for a reason to fire her. It seems strange that if her boss was looking for the reason to fire her, doesn't just use the fact that she just admitted to having an illegal relationship.
He has no proof of this.
Prove it.
There's no
Were
proof.
you recording? This is just some kid. You've never seen this kid. She's been sneaking out. Go up to the bar, the grocery store, and say, "Hey, have you seen these kids together?" No? Okay. There's no proof.
As grounds to firing her. The boss even says the higher-ups are cracking down on him about her behavior, so the potential scandal of a reporter being in a relationship with a minor seems like more...
Yeah, that would have been great if it was true.
Yeah. She must be a good reporter if they're still keeping her around, so you're losing an asset if you fire her. I've got no dog in this fight.
Yeah, we're really arguing something that we have no real information about, because I also skipped her stuff. I'm just doing based off what he's saying, but we could be completely wrong in this one.
Absolutely.
of a reason to fire her, not less. Coupled with the information we learn in the next rank about her friend who is on the run and framed for being a murderer, and how she was already moved down to entertainment because of this. So she's already in hot water and they already don't trust her, and she just gave them a reason to fire her even more on a silver platter. They could easily just use...
Also the potential possibility. You misspelled possibility. Hey, you had a lot of time to work on this video, guy. I don't know why you're having all these problems.
5 hours.
I don't know what's the problem here. There's spell check. What are you doing? Wasn't that your whole point of this game? What's going on here?
Oh, you right.
What's going on here?
You right. Oh, looks like mistakes can happen.
Looks like some things can slip through the crack, huh? Also, the potential possibility that the higher-ups are working with Shido so he could use this and his connection to send her to jail like he did with you and silence her since she is a threat to him, revealing the truth about him, which is what he did with her partner.
Yeah, potential possibility. Those are two maybes. maybe he's also working with Soldiero. That's a potential possibility.
To keep her from digging up more information. Oya's story continues by her telling you she found out about your past and then reveals hers.
I see why he's doing this. The Phoenix Wright music he's playing right now is during the investigation mode. Yep.
I would have gone Danganronpa, but you know.
About your past and then reveals hers. She tells you that she and her partner Kaio were big names in political journalism until one day they went after a certain bureaucrat. Right after they found a lead, Kaio went missing and the politician turned up dead. The police blamed Kaio for it and Oya was moved into entertainment writing. The next time you meet her, she tells you that her quota for work has been doubled, so she has no time into looking for Kaio and that her boss is hindering the investigation. Before asking,
okay, so this is a reason that you don't fire her, because then she's free to investigate all that Again, this is just from what I'm knowing about this. I'm
just listening like, oh, is that what happened?
with her quota by giving her more information about the Phantom Thieves and says she'll have to back off of the investigation for a while. Rank 7 involves her getting a call from a contact saying that Kaio is actually alive, but not giving her Kaio's location, before her boss comes in and says that he's the one that pressured the contact into keeping quiet, doubling her quota again and forbidding her from researching the case. Again, it seems really weird. He wanted to fire her under the mere suspicion that she was looking into the case, and now that he has undeniable proof, decides to let her stay at work but just doubles her quota again. Rank 8 is up next, and at this
she can be kept under thumb if they still employ her, as opposed to being a freelance journalist and that could just do whatever the she wants.
You know the pattern. Oya tells you that she's crushed at work and has no leads on Kaio's case. So off you go to Momentos to change her boss's heart. After beating up her boss, we are given possibly one of the worst explanations for his actions. Oya's passion reminds him of how he was in his prime before his wife cheated on him. The reason he's so hard on her is because of that. That's it. This maybe could have worked if it was more built up, or even...
I'm glad I skipped this. Yeah. That sounds terrible.
Yeah,
this sounds like a bad one.
That.
This sounds like a bad one.
They hung on it at all longer than this one throwaway sentence, which doesn't ever get referenced again. It's not even an issue
and the
that
other
Oya's boss
social links that she has, where the boss doesn't show up again,
doesn't have a deep meaning or deep reason behind being an asshole.
Why does everything need to be a deep meaning or reason? Hey, maybe some people just suck.
I don't go over to Chicago and go to all the gang members like, why are you a gang member? Tell me your story.
That's just who they are. They're just dickheads.
Well,
and there's nothing wrong with having a story that is about someone just being an asshole. The issue is that it has no build-up, has no payoff. This is a one-and-done line. It doesn't add anything to the story, and its removal wouldn't hurt it. In fact, it would help it more.
How? Like, he's given a reason, and you want reasons, but then you want further explanations of reasons. So once the door is open, you want them to come in, but as long as the door stays closed, it's just like, well, that's out of sight, out of mind, it's fine.
Help it more. Like Futaba's uncle. He's an asshole. He just wants money. And his best course of action is to harass Sojiro in order to give him more. His story's issue isn't the fact that he's an asshole, it's that everyone around him is a moron, enabling him and allowing...
Oh my
Same
goodness.
thing can be... This is where I don't like the text. Same thing can be applied to Sage story with the stupid twist with the issue, not Oyamada being a jealous piece of shit. Okay.
Whatever.
Continue to be an asshole without stopping him when they have clear points to stop him by calling people like the domestic court workers that...
Does she show any signs of abuse at this moment?
No, She's fine.
Do you know how many people get away with things? There are literal rapists walking around right now because it cannot be proven that a woman was raped when she reports it 5 years later. So what is she to do? What is Futaba to do 2-3 years later where it's just like, well, there's no bruising on you and you seem perfectly healthy, so
Back to the uncle.
back to the uncle.
You wait a month and then you call him and then you go, and the uncle's probably smart enough to go, okay, for a month I'm gonna treat you well. And then once I see nobody's checking in on us, you back into the dumpster.
You really have this like,
And just everything should just work out.
yeah, things do not work out, dude. The system is
We're dealing with the police being just like overthrow the police because they don't do. So
Show up in the rank 9 when he called them
There
on
was there's a story of a police officer that shot a dude. There was an autistic man, and the dude that handles him was trying to calm the autistic person down. And he's just screaming,
yeah,
he's
I remember
autistic.
seeing that.
And then it's just like the cop's explanation of shooting the guy was like, I didn't mean to shoot him. I meant to shoot the autistic dude.
It's like the severely autistic person.
And it's just like, okay, so why is shooting your first? That's
We
the
should
issue.
address that first.
That's the issue there, and that's the issue with this stuff. The court systems do not work, and where it's just like a drama, and the good guy wins. Sometimes the bad people win. Sometimes you have enough money to win.
the rank 9 when he called them on Sojiro. As usual, the next time you meet Oya, she tells you about how her boss has completely changed and is even encouraging her now to pursue Kaio's case, telling her that she's in a mental hospital. Although Oya is anxious about going, she's determined to find out about the truth. In rank 9, we learn that she visited Kaio and that she looks completely different, apparently having suffered a mental shutdown, leaving her alive but basically brain dead. Oya still manages to get her hair clipped, which has a video on it of the bureaucrat meeting with one of Shido's confidants, refusing to pay him blackmail money, which is why he turned up dead. Unfortunately, Oya has no way to corroborate the story, so she says she'll need to be extra careful in writing it, and that you should distance yourself from her. But you and Lala convince her that she's going to need all the help she can get. Her story ends with a meeting where she tells you her boss is completely on her side now and is ignoring the higher-ups, and writing on the origins of the Phantom Thieves and their goals, as well as a piece on Shido. She also says she knows you're a Phantom Thief, but since you have similar goals of exposing evil, she'll keep quiet about it. Her story is one of the more compelling ones of the game.
That sounds terrible.
And didn't you say it was bad?
Nah, I don't, maybe we said it was bad.
I don't remember.
Dude, it sounds really ungood.
Yeah.
I wouldn't enjoy it.
Of what happened to her partner, but the reveal of the mental shutdown is somewhat unsatisfying since it brings up the question of
If
how
there's
do
a
mental
good hook
shutdowns
with what happened to her partner, but it's not a good hook about why Kawakamis are made.
Reveal of the mental shutdown is somewhat unsatisfying since it brings up the question of how do mental shutdowns work.
No, it doesn't. People shut down mentally for all types of reasons. Futaba shut down.
And also, we know that we've seen that in the story at this time several times, especially since it's 11-3. This is after Haru's dad, who had a mental shutdown. So we know that if something goes wrong, they can just have a mental shutdown. And also just real life mental shutdowns.
Point in the game, we've seen 3 on-screen mental
well.
shutdowns and heard about even more. They're always shown to be 100% fatal, unless the mental
Nope,
shutdown is
not the train conductor. He was not fatal. He died because in fact he lived, if I remember correctly. And also the third dude, he had a heart attack. But yeah,
she shouldn't have been killed as well, since she knows the truth of
No, your mental shutdown is more so the palace stuff. Her mental shutdown was just seeing something horrific or something and shutting down.
and now poses a severe threat to him. This is the only case of non-lethal mental shutdowns we hear about in the entire game.
Pause.
Every
Persona 5 Royal has that with the third semester that I'm not going to go into.
Okay.
confidant rank is meaningful in advancing her story, and none of them seem like they're either entirely too light on information or too heavy on it. It's only really brought down.
Goodness, make a perfect story. Do you understand what you're asking for?
He liked this one because the information wasn't dribbled in. It was immediately like, okay, give me some information on the Phantom Thieves. Okay, here's my information. I used to be this and that, and it was like that for 4 turns instead of just going a little bit.
This is ridiculous.
So this is the perfectly paced one because from day one they're just throwing information at you.
Stupid inclusion of mementos and the even worse half.
Does he not like mementos or something?
I think he hates mementos being used as a plot device for the social links.
Mementos. We got it. We legit got it.
No, we don't got it because we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more to go through. Don't look at how many more we gotta go through. Oh, this is
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15.
15 more?
15 more.
What?
16 if you count the twins, but we're just counting one of them. 15 more. This goes on till 2:15.
Dude, we're not even at 1. This is incredible.
Yeah,
you really don't think this could have been cut down a little bit, dude?
Honestly, I think he was just going for big number. And I'm not pulling a long man bad here. Make your video. I prefer a video going, here is as long as it needs to be in order for me to tell you why this is bad. If somebody just went, Justice League is bad in this 10-minute video, I'm like, no, it takes a lot longer to explain why Justice League is bad.
You're either going to gloss over a lot of stuff or you're just going to go too quick.
You take as long as you need to explain why this is bad. But this is just padding.
Yes.
You're talking about this being too front-loaded and all this stuff, and you're doing the exact same thing. Unless this is where he gets us. It's like, I did what the Persona did, and I did too much. Yeah.
You know what? That would be a great answer to the video.
But dude, 5 hours in, no, that's past that.
One throwaway line. The only other problem with Oya is that her character seems to be set up as to be an important part of the main story, but ends up in the same situation as all the other side characters.
Based on
on what?
Because she went against Sheeta too? That's it?
Yeah, no.
Ignored in the background.
Because she is a confidant, and if you didn't do her story, then how can she be important in the story?
She's constantly writing articles about the Phantom Thieves and altering the public perception of them, and plays a major role in helping Joker get out of jail later in the game, but she never gets the spotlight after your chance encounter with her during the Madarame arc. Shinya is an
He didn't even give things time to breathe.
Nope. Moving on.
It was like, in the Madarame arc, genius! It's just immediately into the next person, because my thought was, we're stopping after that person for this session. But it wasn't even time for me to pause it. Nope. It wasn't even a fade out, really. It was like, that's here. So, we hit our 3 hours as you wanted.
We can either do this one or stop it for now.
We can stop it for now because we're just gonna go into the next one and the next one and the next one. Like, dude,
it's ridiculous.
This is way too much.
It's unnecessary, is what it is. We got it. You don't like mementos and people butting in because of mementos. That's what the constant thing is. You can move on over to the Ons and people like that who don't have mementos and just go, okay, here's why her story is bad or something. But you just going mementos. It's just
you could have went
repetitive.
Out of 6 out of the 7 people have mementos. Here's the pattern. 4 steps of the social link are tidbits of information for the most part. 5 through 7 is learning about them and helping them grow as a person, and their story arc completes. Then 8, the bad person comes in, you go to mementos and fix them, and then the last 2 is them thanking you and things being resolved.
Because it's
and you could have cut out 2 hours.
It's legit 2 hours on the confidants and 2 hours on the story. No.
Ridiculous.
This
is horrible.
This is really, really bad.
It's not -10 stuff yet. It's not boring enough for me. I mean, it's too boring for me.
Yeah, it's boring, but it's just the lack of quality is hitting me a negative 10. And also just the repetition and also hitting the same thing with part 5. It's just like, well, you said that these other Persona games are good, but they're doing the exact same thing. What's your excuse?
I like them more.
Yeah, that's all that has
That's
to
the
be.
legit excuse. Okay, so I guess we'll come back another day for this. Oh, we don't have the podcast tomorrow, do we?
No, we don't.
I guess we can record some stuff tomorrow.
Oh boy.